Hi guys, Kaze here. Welcome back. We're back with more Men of Yoshiwara Ohgiya. We're back, of course, with the so stubborn Gakuto. He's lovable, but he's stubborn. Oh my god. So let's see what he has in store for us this time. Chapter 2, Woman's Whereabouts. It's also an odd title there too. On my second visit to Yoshiwara, I had chosen Gakuto to be my courtesan. Nevertheless, things were not going as smoothly as I'd imagined. The following day, for a change of pace, I decided to go outside. Still, when I looked at the Tamari handball I had received last night, all kinds of memories and emotions swirled through my mind, confusing me even more. Miss, are you all right? Concerned with me, Musashi spoke shyly. Yes, I'm completely fine. But last night, after watching everything last night, it looked like Musashi wanted to say something, so he was still there. He never left. I forced myself to smile and spoke to him energetically. It was a very lively banquet, wasn't it? Miss Kaze. It's true that it would have gone better if I had been more graceful, but it looked like Gakuto had fun. I'm sure everything will be fine if I do better next time. So please, don't worry, Musashi. Maybe I should teach Gakuto a Tamari handball song as well. I began bouncing the ball. 10-10 Tamari. Just as I began to sing the song. Oh, well, it looks like you're having fun. My mother came outside and called to Musashi and me. Mother, I'm sure you had a lot of fun last night, too. Yes, I did. As my mother smiled at me, I just nodded, not knowing what else to say. That's fantastic. Even though you're doing this for our family and to have a baby, all I want is for you to be happy, Kaze. Thanks. So, who did you get involved with last night? Gakuto, the courtesan from Ohgiya. Oh my! Could hear how happy she was as she began to smile. Gakuto's the extremely popular courtesan, isn't he? He's the perfect match for you. Just as I thought, I had chosen the right courtesan to get involved with. Nevertheless, I need to try harder to court him. I had to live up to Mother's expectations. A sense of pride and duty started to well up inside of me. All I knew was that I had to continue without making any mistakes. That was the foundation for my goals that I had set for myself. A few days passed. I was constantly busy day in and day out. In order to become the head of my household, I started to properly learn the business. It was just nothing but hectic. Kaze, next we have to visit the owners of the Kobe store. Yes, Mother. I told Musashi to grab the goods. Where did he run off to? I'm making preparations right now. Oh, we should be fine. Please wait a moment. Even though we were going around meeting with people, it was hectic. Mother has always composed look on her face while working, and it really made me admire her. There were so many things I had to take care of. Talking with customers, recording transactions in a notebook, calculating receipts, keeping everything tidy, looking after the employees, calculating their wages, and restocking. After the busy day finally ended, I returned to my room. I gently touched a small Tamari handball like I had been doing every day. After taking a closer look, it looks like your cute flower pattern's getting frayed. My fondness for the handball grew, and I started to talk to it. The ball was stitched with all sorts of colorful thread and had a very cute floral pattern. Oh, I know, I can fix it. I went out to grab my sewing kit, and when I returned to my room, Musashi was standing there in front of it, holding a serving tray. Oh, Miss Kaze, why are you blushing? Oh, Musashi, what is it? Oh, I thought you might be tired, so I prepared some sweets and green tea. It was rare for Musashi to make sweets. He had to have felt it was strange as well because he shyly smiled at me. Thank you, Musashi. I'd love some. Excellent. I invited Musashi into my room, and as I started to get excited for the tea and sweets, I repaired the Tamari handball, leisurely taking my time. Miss, it seems you've really become fond of that handball. Yes, I guess you're right. Having it with me this whole time, I've grown attached to it. Miss? What is it, Musashi? Musashi fell silent as I stopped sewing to speak, my head up. Musashi's strong eyes wavered with anxiety. Oh, really? Musashi? Miss, are you sure you're not pushing yourself? Uh-huh. You must visit Yoshiwara as part of your household duty, but to begin with, Yoshiwara is a place for people to enjoy themselves. What I'm trying to tell you is that it's all right for you to relax and enjoy yourself. Musashi and I have been together ever since we were kids. It was no wonder he noticed how reserved I was being. Thank you, Musashi, but I'm not going there to have fun. But it's fine. It's fine. I'll visit the Pleasure District again tomorrow, so please make me an appointment. As you wish. It looked like Musashi still had something to say, but he shut his mouth. I stared down at the tamari ball in my hands, thinking I might have fixed it too much. The following evening, I went to the courtesan referral shop and was quickly brought to Ohgiya. It was very different from the previous night when I had to wait forever. I'll drop you off at Ohgiya's front door and pick you up at the main gate the next morning. All right. Last time Musashi had been with me the entire time, but starting today, I'll be going alone. When I try to make myself feel better to wash away the hopeless feeling inside of me, Gakuto, please take me to him. You're causing trouble for our business making that racket. Get a hold of yourself. Then take me to him this instant. If you're that desperate, please make an appointment at the referral shop. Go on. Gakuto! Just get the hell out of here. If you don't stop, I'll have you locked up. I'm making a huge scene in front of Ohgiya. Her hair is a complete mess and she's yelling with tears in her eyes. What's going on? This type of thing occasionally happens here. What do you mean? Someone spent all their money on courtesans and demand to meet them even when they're penniless. Oh, I see. These type of things had nothing to do with you, though. But it sounds like that woman spent time with Gakuto. Yes, that's what it seems like. He was driven out of Ohgiya and ended up crying in the middle of the street. The small crowd that had gathered around to watch slowly started to disperse. I felt so bad for the woman that my chest began to hurt. I wonder how it feels to yearn for someone that strongly. Miss Kaze. It looks like she was in so much pain. I need to set limits for myself. Yes, I agree. Well, I'm off. Please be safe. He's kind of got an intense look going on for him. I'm sorry, I'm not wearing my glasses, so I'm like... can't see. Musashi quickly bowed his head to me. The moment I turned my back to him, I stopped smiling and braced myself. Gakuto. I wonder if he had kissed that woman the same way he had kissed me. Had they gone even further? Just thinking about it sent a jolt of pain through my chest. It's a brothel. What do you think he does? Play handball all day. He was a courtesan, so it was only natural for him to have been with many women. I was escorted to a room, and after waiting for a bit... Excuse me, Gakuto's here to see you. Hi, Ageha. Hi again. I heard Ageha speaking cheerfully beyond the door. The door slowly began to open. Hi, Gakuto. Gakuto casually bowed his head. Next to him, Ageha bowed his head deeply. I sat straight up and followed their example to greet them as I ushered them in. Were you waiting long? The arrogant smirk plastered on Gakuto's face was the same as last time. It was intimidating. No. Why is Ageha still here? Ageha silently carried in new drinks and food for us with the help of some of the apprentices. They finished quickly. Ageha went back into the hall and bowed his head. I'll take my leave now. He quickly showed me a cheerful smile before shutting the door. In hardly any time at all, Gakuto and I were now alone. Okay. Now he's gone. He stared at me while sitting a fair distance away with one of his knees raised. For some reason, I was afraid to make eye contact with him. All I could do was stare down at the food and refreshments in front of me. Today commemorates our third time meeting. This means we're intimate newlyweds. Intimate newlyweds? The words seemed so surreal to me. They made me feel uneasy. All I could say was, oh God. No, that's not one of the options. Let's see. You're all right. Silence. I'm looking forward to it. Huh? I have to set boundaries, but I have to do my duty. So I'm going to look forward to it. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. On the inside, I was distraught, but I bowed my head politely. Nevertheless, Gakuto snorted. What's wrong? You're being oh so much nicer today. There was no way I could tell him that. I need to be more conservative about my behavior to gain his favor. I'm being quiet. You need to loosen up. Come over here. Huh? How could this man's eyes pierce through me so easily? When I asked myself that, I began to fear his powerful gaze. Hello? Are you deaf or something? Gakuto heckled me to see if I was listening. Do you want me to come closer to you? Precisely. All right. I ignored the thumping heartbeat in my chest and walked over to Gakuto. Just as I tried to sit down, I felt him grab my arm to make me hurry up, but then he sat me on his lap and began to embrace me. Without delay, my cheeks flared up. What are you holding in that hand? He quickly slid his hands down my arms, resting them on top of my hands. His hands were much softer than I had imagined, and they felt a bit odd. It was like they were stuck on me. I wanted to return the Tamari handball to you. Oh, yeah? I told Utsusemi to give you the princess's little toy. Yes, and it was a bit frayed, and that's why I took it upon myself to fix it. Is that all right? I see. That's fine. From the gaps in my fingers, Gakuto began to slowly caress the Tamari handball. I'll give it back to you. I couldn't stand his awkward behavior, so I lifted the ball up to try and stop him. What are you so afraid of? Am I really that frightening? No, that just tickled. Oh, really? He looked at me with his probing eyes. Even when I looked away, I could feel his eyes glued on me. Without taking his eyes off of me, Gakuto slowly took the ball. I should have expected as much from the daughter of a draper. You do beautiful work. I've been training the art of sewing. That's why. It looks like you've added something new to the design. You have good taste. Thank you. I was worried because I decided to do that without anyone's permission. I was honestly happy to hear Gakuto's kind words, and the two of us stared at the ball. You can do whatever you like. It'll just make the apprentices happier. But we're not going to play handball tonight, are we? Gakuto started to caress the back of my neck, and my body shook in shock. Out of the blue, he began bringing his lips closer to me. When Tamari handball rolled onto the floor, we've already made our vows. We're husband and wife now. It's our duty as her husband to completely satisfy you tonight. His hot breath grazed the back of my neck. Gakuto pressed his soft, tepid tongue against my neck over and over, licking it up and down. No. A strange, ticklish feeling traveled down my back. I shouldn't fight it. I had to entrust my body to him. That was the entire reason for me being here tonight. As I told that to myself, I noticed that Gakuto had started to take off my kimono when he works fast. It was too embarrassing for me. When I quickly tried to push his hands away, he turned me around to face him. Why are you so scared? You're like a completely different person from before. Gakuto pinned me down and brought his beautiful face closer. He caressed my cheek as he spoke to me. I replied by saying, That's not true. I don't know what you mean. I'm just a little nervous. Crap. I don't know what you mean. It's normal. Totally normal. I don't know what you mean. But you're scared, aren't you? If I am, it's unintentional. Without thinking, my tone became a little more powerful. His hot breath caressed my cheek. I realized that he was laughing at me. I never realized this until now, but it seems I am attracted to a very strong-willed woman. His strong eyes sparkled as he spoke to me. I'm sure each customer has their own goals set for themselves when they come here. It's our job to make their desires become a reality. Yet you won't tell me what you want. He's probably trying to cross-examine me. I froze while he criticized me. In that case, I guess I just have to make some up for you and make them come true. Gakuto pressed his lips against mine before I could say anything. The kiss was just like the one from the other day, rough and arrogant. Nevertheless, his hot, burning kiss stirred up the inside of my mouth. You can stop your pointless bluffing. Between his kisses, Gakuto spoke to me in a cruel voice. I tried to push him away as I kept trying to tell him to stop. But it was like he hadn't noticed it because he didn't budge an inch. In a small crack between my eyelids, I could see Tamari handball on the floor. Suddenly, the one I encountered in front of Ohgiya earlier popped into my head. Gakuto did these things with all of his clients. He's embraced all sorts of women, kissed them, and even slept with them. Gakuto, be quiet. Lovers don't need to speak words to express themselves. No, I'm not ready yet. Something I've been trying to keep in suddenly gushed out. All sorts of emotions whirled up inside of me. I couldn't control or understand them. Gakuto had to have realized I really wanted him to stop because he took his lips off mine and distanced himself from me. I'm sorry. I just need a little bit more time to myself. I knew it was pitiful me to do this. Someday I had to make up my mind and do this. When that time came, I would have to choose a man from Yoshiwara to do it with. Even if I imagined the other woman he had been with, there was nothing I could do about it. I know that tonight was the night for us to do this. That's why I came here fully ready, but please, give me a little more time. I stood up and bowed my head silently. I was terribly embarrassed. My body trembled because I was so annoyed at how cowardly I was. But Gakuto replied by saying, "Drink this." What? He filled a cup with rice wine to the brim and shoved it in front of me rudely. Okay. I'm telling you to drink this. Or are you going to reject my offer? No, I'll drink it. I took the cup and placed it against my lips before slowly drinking every last drop of it. I like to chug my sake, don't I? As he watched me, Gakuto filled another cup with rice wine. There's no reason to rush things. You should stop putting on this act and show me your true colors. In that case, what kind of woman do you like, Gakuto? Excuse me? When dealing with other people, I believe it's important to act in a way that is appropriate to the situation. This is the first time I've ever interacted with someone of your status, so please tell me. I do believe my behavior the other day was truly rude. Hey, Kaze. Yes? After Gakuto suddenly burst into laughter, he stared at me with an earnest look. In other words, you're taught to act this way. Am I right? What? I don't understand what you mean. I believe this is how I should act. If you spend your whole life acting that way, that means you're just a people pleaser. I simply worked in a business where I constantly need to keep my customers happy. If you're telling me this is an insult, it would be very upsetting. That's it. Uh-huh. That cheerful nature of yours fits you perfectly. You look so alive. In other words, he purposely insulted me to provoke my behavior from the other day. You're such a jerk. Do you always play around with your clients' heads like this? There's never a need to do that. Most of the women that come to see me want to be intimate with me. I hardly ever see a stubbornly stupid girl like you around. You're trying to stir me up again, I see. I won't fall for it. You already did. Your real manner of speaking is already starting to show. His vulpurous lips began to grin, and it started to run his fingers across my lips. My heart began to pound loudly. Bless, your cheeks are all red. Keeping up that act isn't something a modest girl like you can do. But that would mean... Did you think I'd come to despise you? Yes. Quiet girls are the ones I'm sick of. Gakuto laughed with all his heart. His smile was genuine, and there wasn't a single artificial detail to it. I tried to act like a girl Gakuto would like and rejected his services despite paying for them. I felt so ashamed. The two of us began to drink together and had a lively conversation. Gakuto was a good listener and was good at getting people to talk. I was in the palm of his hand. After continuing the conversation for a while, I started to get sleepy because of the wine. Do you know a girl with a scar on her forehead? Gakuto whispered to me in a low voice that was barely audible. For some reason, he asked me that, even though I was barely conscious. That's my sister. We've been separated since birth. If she's still alive, I want to see her. The words came painfully out of his mouth, and I told him I would inform him if I heard anything. Nevertheless, unable to do any deep thinking that night. And I assumed there was going to be more. I'm like, wait, where'd the rest of it go? Alright, well, there ends that chapter. These are pretty long compared to the others. Alright, well, I'll see you guys in chapter 3. Until then, Kaze out. See you guys later.